Welcome to the Around the Ropes podcast, right here in the Around the Ropes YouTube channel. See, guys, I make it very easy for everybody. Guys, you know who I am. I am the host, the guy who runs all the ship for all this stuff. Guys, if you want to find us, you definitely can go to any of our social media accounts, and you can definitely connect with us there. If you watch us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. As of now, I'm looking at the YouTube link. Hold on. Right now, we're at 26 subscribers. I would like to try and get us up to the 30 mark by Memorial Day weekend. That's only in a couple of weeks. I need 4 subscribers to hit that 30 mark, and that will be a huge accomplishment. So, guys, like I said, definitely, if you watch us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you watch us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on all that fun stuff. Guys, we got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. Buddy Merck is checking us out tonight. Hey, Merck, how you doing? We got a lot of stuff to get to. We'll have technically we'll have 3 phenomenal guests. First, joining us at 8:30 ahead of Invictus's show, Wicked City. We will have the one. Hey, Mark. We will have the one and only Alfonz Stevens joins the show for the first time. And actually, this is the funniest part. The first time in over a year that he'll be on with us. So that will be kind of cool to have him on. And then joining us at 9:30 from UWE, Upstate Wrestling Entertainment, which is one of the companies that I have a working relationship with. I'm one of the main sponsors. We will be joined by not only Ronald Ribera, who is one of the head trainers, but we'll also be joined by the owner and operator, the one, the only, Mr. Craig Palmer, who will be joining us as well. And guys, we have a lot of stuff to get to. I want to touch on WWE last night, because last night we did see the beginning of King of the Ring tournament. So we definitely have that. Don't mind me. I'm just sharing the show out. And guys, like I said, you guys can also share the show out as well, which I would greatly appreciate it. You know, show your friends, your family, whoever, about what you guys see here every Tuesday night. Because guys, like I said, we're only getting bigger from here. We're only going to get bigger from here. We're only going to get better from here and all that fun stuff. Just bear with me 30 seconds because I'm just finishing up this part. And all right. So, guys, like I said, I want to touch on, before we get into Alfonz joining us at the bottom of the hour, I want to touch on Monday Night Raw from last night because it was the first show back in the States after a electric backlash, to say the least. And that was, still thinking about it now, and that's been almost 48 hours since Backlash. The crowd, I've never seen in all my years of watching pro wrestling. I've been watching pro wrestling now since 2014 when I came back to it. I have never seen a crowd more electric for a show than I did Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, depending on that crowd alone was incredible. Monday Night Raw emanated from the XL Center up in Hartford, Connecticut, about 70 miles, I think, 60 miles away from Titan Towers in Stamford. So, like I said, it was definitely interesting, to say the least. But, guys, I want to dive into it because one of the things we did here was we got the King of the Ring tournament, that the finals will be happening in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, the end of the month, actually, May 25th. And I'm actually just going to pull up right now how, the brackets are looking as of now. Because I know on Saturday they announced the Raw side, and I know they announced part of the SmackDown side last night. So I just want to see exactly who, because I did not get a chance to see this part. So just bear with me 10 seconds here. But it looks like, we did get some matches already announced. We will have, obviously, the winner, the finals for both brackets will be at this show. And Becky Lynch will be taking on Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's Championship, which I don't know if they pull the trigger. I would hope they do, because I've said this before, that yeah, Mark, it does suck. But here's the thing also, Mark. If somebody at Ace has Peacock, we can stream it. Not saying I have a watch party, I'm just saying we can stream it. But think it's time. I said this a couple weeks ago, actually, when I think it was the episode. Yeah, it was the episode when I had Billy on, and like I said, I think realistically, this is going to make perfect sense. Checking out the show for the first time, what's going on, man? He is one of the auto guys for the Dynasty, and guys, very chill guy. Definitely go check out his YouTube stuff. He puts out great content. Mark says I got Peacock. Yeah, Mark, like I said, if anybody has Peacock, as long as we get good streaming there, we can definitely stream it. But I think, like I said, I think it's definitely time for Liv to get the belt, because we all realize going into this, they were setting up a babyface Rhea versus Liv. That's what they were setting up for. However, obviously we know Rhea got injured because of Liv. Why not pull the trigger at this point? And then you can easily set something up for when, because realistically, if you pull the trigger now and you do this the right way, I don't see a problem with Liv holding that belt going through SummerSlam. SummerSlam, folks, I've said this before. SummerSlam's only, 2 pay-per-views away, 2 PLEs away? Because you have, you have Clash at the Castle next month. You got Money in the Bank in July, and then you got SummerSlam in the beginning of August. So I think you pull the trigger now, because I think the thing is also you have to realize Becky does not need that belt. She is Teflon. All she was going to do, her being a transitional champion in this scenario works out perfect, because to me, it doesn't make sense to have her hold that belt for much longer. I mean, she's done everything. We'll also have a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title between Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed. Oof. Looking at it now, and obviously we'll do our predictions as we get closer to the event. I would have to say, give Sami the win here. And you can easily set this. This is what I love about triple threats. You can easily take a triple threat match and set it up for a big singles match down the road without hesitation. And you, I just want to see. Oh, also, guys, I know Timothy Embler is doing announcements tonight for Battleground for their show on July 6th. Which, guys, we'll get to that later on, because we have an announcement coming up for that. Because many of you know, we'll be doing a podcast live, but at the top of hour number 2 is when I will announce the guests who will be on with me for that one. So you're not going to want to miss that at all. But guys, like I said, as far as with the triple threat, I think realistically, Sami, especially you're in Sami's hometown, you're in his home area in Saudi Arabia. So I think it'd be I think realistically, Bronson can take the pin. You keep Gable strong, and you can easily set up Gable and Sami for down the road. Hell, I would even go as far as setting them up for SummerSlam. And you give them actual time in the ring, those guys can put on a fucking clinic. You let those guys, especially with the fact, and I've heard a lot of people say this in regards to Sami, the fact that you got somebody like Sami who, even though he's a champion, he fights like he's the goddamn underdog. And the way Gable's going right now as a heel, I could easily see this working out and being one of these classic technical type of matches that I don't know if it would get 5 stars from Dave Meltzer, but it would definitely do something. But as far as Monday Night Raw last night, I liked it. I liked the flow of it, especially the part where they did announce that 2 of the matches are going to be at a live show this weekend, which would see Kofi Kingston taking on Rey Mysterio and Shayna Baszler taking on Selena Vega. So I want to open this up to the Around the Ropes Nation. Do you guys like the idea of them announcing that matches at a live show are going to be meaningful like that? Let me know in the comment section below. But But yeah, so you have that going on. So like I said, you have that going on. Let's see here. Yeah, Mark said yes, that's cool. Yeah, Mark, that's kind of my whole thing with it. I want to, I just want to get more people's takes on it. But I just think, to me, you can't turn around and, like I said, you can't turn around and expect that there's going, well, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Let me regroup. What I was trying to say is this. If you're going to a house show, let's say you're going to a house show on Long Island or wherever you live, most of the time the matches on a house show aren't really that meaningful because usually they're thrown together, or it's usually matches that you've seen on Monday Night Raw 9,000 times. But now that you also, or if you go into the house show this weekend, you know going into it going, okay, 2 of these matches are going to mean something. Selena Vega and Shayna Baszler, Rey Mysterio and Kofi. They mean something now. It's not the crap of, oh, we're just throwing matches together just for the hell of it. No, they're actually going to mean something. And the one thing WWE will probably do not probably, because they'll do a goddamn good job of it, as in regards to when it comes to the highlights of it. Because what they'll probably end up doing is putting probably 90-second thing together for it of highlights on Raw the next night. And I think realistically, like I said, I think it should work out in their favor. I really do. Guys, hit that like button, share the video, show your friends, your family, and whomever what we are here talking about every Tuesday night. Because, guys, like I said, there is a lot here going on. And, guys, the question tonight is, would you rather have live show, them letting you know beforehand that matches at live shows are going to matter, or would you prefer that it all be on TV? I'm going to say this right now. Hartford, Connecticut is one lucky son of a bitch for not only getting Ilya and Ricochet, because god damn, those two put on a fight. But we were saying it on Saturday when we were at the watch along, and they had announced it, and they announced Ilya and Ricochet, and right there and then I was like, yeah, this match is going to be good, because the type of work these two put in. I mean, you look at Ilya's freaking clinics with Gunther or Walter back in the day. I mean, the stuff he put on, I mean, I still hear the chops in my head from him. And like I said, it's incredible. And Ricochet, the one thing I give Ricochet a lot of credit for is, even though he hasn't been used that well in the WWE, he's been used in the right way, where you're never going to see him go for world heavyweight title. You're never going to see that. But with him, it's him, and you can almost make the argument that him and Nakamura are sort of on the same level as far as, break glass if need be. I mean, nobody thought in their right mind that Ricochet was going to be Ilya. Absolutely not. But he sold, especially those chops. God damn! Those chops were painful. But the other match also I want to talk about quickly is the main event, which saw Gunther take on Sheamus. Again, these two had a classic 2 years ago at Clash at the Castle 2022. Or maybe it was 23, I don't remember. But they did that. So this was, Gunther, Sheamus 2, and they didn't disappoint, to say the least. And the big thing also, they were talking about this today on Busted Open with Matt Camp and Bullet Ray, and I agree with Matt 100%. Does it have to become, like, let's say, for example, let's say Ilya does win, or it's Gunther who wins, or whoever. Do they have to sit there and say, oh, here comes King so-and-so? I mean, you look back at the history of King of the Ring, and I'll pull up quickly, the past winners of this event, because it had, like I said, it's definitely been a laundry list of. Hold on, just bear with me 2 seconds here because I want to find the. Here we go. King of the Ring winners. Just bear with me 30 seconds. But here we go. List of winners. And there's a point I'm trying to make with this in a second. I mean, it helped propel a lot of careers. I mean, you had Don Morocco's a King of the Ring winner. You have Harley Race, Randy Savage, Ted DiBiase, Tito Santana. Bret Hart is won it back-to-back years. Owen Hart in 94, Mabel in 95. We got a comment coming in here from our buddy David across the pond, who goes, I can't wait to get freaking phone lines for this show at some point. He goes, Ilya was bound to make his mark. He's just that good. I am having a conversation with somebody yesterday. They were concerned about whether Ilya could hang with the bigger guys on the main roster, but I assured that, no, David, you're 100% right. And Ilya, to me, you see this sometimes, not much, where wrestlers can hang. I mean, great example on the independent level. Actually, former guest of the show, Sean Carr. It's a great example. Sean Carr is a big dude, 6 feet tall. But yet he can work guys like Lindsay Dorado, as we saw at the Immortal show last July at the Cobblestone show. He can work guys like Facade, like we saw in Dwaynesburg a couple weeks ago. He can work literally anybody. I mean, he has Sebastian Braun coming up in a couple weeks at Gateway to Immortality, and I guarantee it's going to be a good goddamn match, because when you have a wrestler who can work with anybody, they tend to put on good matches because they adjust their strengths to whoever they're facing at the time. But I just want to go back to my point here, because there was really only a few guys who actually won this crown. Who, I mean, yes, you have, just some names of guys who have won it, who got that king gimmick. Owen Hart became King of the Hearts. Mabel became King Mabel. Kurt Angle became King Kurt. Edge became King Edge the Awesome. Booker T was really the only name that actually made that King character work. And that was, King Booker. Sheamus was King Sheamus. You had Bad News Barrett became King Barrett. I mean, the only one who I think they had something with was Xavier Woods. But then, Roman Reigns kind of took a massive dog turd on that. But that's my whole thing, is you don't need, if you want to, let's say, for example, I'm going to go back to the initial bracket here for a second. If, let's say for, just as an example, gotta go over it. Just bear with me 2 seconds here, because I have to look to see. Okay, here we go. Come on, there we go. Okay. So right now on the Raw side, we have Gunther advancing, Ilya advanced, Jey Uso advanced. Kofi and Rey is going to be at a house show. And now on the SmackDown side of things, we have AJ and Randy Orton, Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, and Bobby Lashley and Tama Tonga. So right there and then, let's just say for hypothetical reasons, let's just say Carmelo Hayes wins this whole thing. I'm just saying for hypothetical, can we not sit there and call him King Mello? It does nothing for his character. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have seen wrestlers who win the King of the Ring, who their career propels. Prime example, look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got another comment coming here from our buddy Dave across the pond, who says they need to make it more serious again and less comical. It would be awesome if we see a real serious King. But David, let me ask you this then: of the names who I just mentioned, and the guys obviously we saw last night on Raw who advanced, of those guys, who would you want to see? Because I'll tell you right now, let's say Gunther does win, because that's my prediction. I still think it. I don't want him to also get the moniker of King Gunther. It does nothing for him. All I hope that this does is shoots whoever it is to the freaking moon. Because you have somebody like Gunther who wins that King of the Ring, I could very easily see him challenging for the World Heavyweight title either at SummerSlam or, if they want to make it bigger, Bash in Berlin when WWE goes to Germany in the end of August. I could easily see that. But use King of the Ring to kind of propel us to that point. Because realistically, let's say it's Ilya who wins. I don't want him to also get the moniker King Ilya. It does, unless your name is Booker T, 90% of these guys who have won the King of the Ring, I mean, David said it perfectly, becomes more of a comedy joke than anything. There's no two ways about it. On the women's side of things, I definitely want to look up that. I want to definitely look at that quickly. Guys, like I said, we'll be joined by Alfonz Stevens from Invictus Pro Wrestling at the bot in about 8 minutes or so. You're not going to want to miss that. On the women's side of things, obviously mentioned before, Shayna Baszler and Selena Vega will be at a house show this weekend. Io Sky defeated Natalya, so she will be advancing. Dakota Kai took on Lyra Valkyria, and Lyra Valkyria actually won. This was one thing I said on Saturday. I want to see Lyra get a push here. Because, and I said this before with the men's, I'm going to say this now with the women. You have the opportunity to make a star here, and you literally have Lyra set up now to take on Zoe Stark. Right there and then, you could potentially have Lyra taking on Shayna Baszler, former NXT Women's Champion. You can have her take on Io Sky, former WWE Women's Champion. And boom, you have a star right there. And this is what I kind of like what WWE's doing right now, is they're using this opportunity to make stars with people like Carmelo Hayes, Lyra Valkyria, Ilya Dragunov, because these are the guys and girls who are going to be the future of this company. Because I hate to say it, but guys like Finn, I'm trying to think here, a lot of these guys are in their mid-40s already. And when you're a pro wrestler, you're in your 40s, if you're not taking good care of your body, that takes a toll on you. Trust me. It takes a toll on you. I'm not saying that, if you're in your 40s, you're old. So I don't want everybody who's in their 40s to come after me saying, oh, John, you told me I was old. No, what I'm saying is if you're a pro wrestler in your 40s, the bumps, they pile up after a while. Where, I've stepped foot in a ring before. I've never actually taken a bump. And you don't, it's really, really, it takes a toll on your body. Why do you think most wrestlers' careers don't last that long? Let me see something here. I'm actually curious what the average wrestler career is. Average. I'm just curious to see here. Because I can guarantee you, I don't think it's long. Oh, here we go. Career lengths. You see it occasionally. Obviously, as guys get older, they tend to do less matches. But there's really nobody who, who still wrestles at 40 and will still put on, will still work a full schedule. Great example. Look at Taker. By the time he got to WrestleMania 34, he was doing one match a year. And I was watching an interview. I don't know if it was an interview he did or it was on his podcast, 6 Feet Under. And he was saying he did that for the sole purpose of you do the one match, you get ready, heal up everything, and then you're back at it again by next year's WrestleMania. So it gives you a year. Where if you don't do that, you're basically right back on the road the next day. And it takes a toll on you. Another example, I know when Ryan was on here, he used to always joke about it with me. But if you guys remember a couple of years ago, Dave LaGreca from Busted Open had this feud with Thunder Rosa, his now co-host. And they had done a show in Buda, Texas. And I remember this vividly because I remember seeing the videos of it afterwards. And she was laying in on him big time. And he just told the story because they just bust open, just celebrated their 15-year anniversary. And he was saying it on the show that, he felt it afterwards. He felt it. And I've had wrestlers on here plenty of times. I mean, you guys know the list of who I've had on here in the last almost 3 years of the show. A lot of them, this shit takes a fucking toll on you. I don't care what anybody says. You step foot into a ring and you're taking a bump. If you're not taking, and there's such a science behind it and everything, if you don't take a bump the right way, you can really do some damage. Wait, Warren, what are you saying that it was a work? LOL. What was the work? And David chimes in here and says, if Ilya does win, he's currently known as the Man Dragon. I think the Mad King wouldn't be. No, I agree. If you do it like that, but David, my whole point with it is don't have him come out with the scepter. Don't have him come out, being all royalty. That's what I'm trying to say. If you want to change his name to the Mad King, I have no issues with that. I think that would work out for him. But like I said, whoever wins this, because you have a lot of names in there who haven't really done, who are first come up to the main roster now. With guys, obviously, I mean, you can't really say Gunther, because Gunther, I feel like, has pretty much held the championship every time he's been in, as long as he's been in WWE. But with guys like Carmelo Hayes, guys like Ilya, this is their moment here. And if you can somehow pull off a win in your first not even month on the main roster, Warren says wrestling is fake. Oh, joking. I'm actually a wrestler. The Dave and Thunder feud and another one. Hold on. Let me just read this. Wrestling is fake. Thank you, Warren. I couldn't figure that out myself. I'm actually a wrestler. The Dave and Thunder feud, and the number one thing to do is, yeah, Warren. I definitely see where you're coming from, because I've heard that from a few other people, where you're supposed to tuck your chin in, and I've seen. I mean, I remember vividly. There was a great example was when, what's his face, the chinless one. Oh, James Ellsworth took on AJ Styles a number of years ago. And it was on SmackDown. And I remember this match because the biggest thing with it was when AJ went to go for the Styles Clash, he actually had to somehow maneuver James Ellsworth's neck. Because if he would have done it the way Ellsworth's neck was positioned, Ellsworth would have probably broken his neck. So that's the thing also. And by the way, Warren, yes, I do know wrestling is fake. I'm fully aware of that. Trust me, I'm fully freaking aware of that. But guys, like I said, we should be joined in a matter of moments by Alfonz Stevens, who is your not lead commentator. He is one half of your commentary team. Actually, speaking of the man, he is in here right now. So let me introduce him. Guys, making his return to the Around the Ropes podcast for the first time in over a year. He is one half of your commentary team for Invictus Pro Wrestling. He's also a lifelong Met fan. The one, the only, Alfonz Stevens returns to the show. How you doing today?
I'm all right, my friend. How are you? Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back. It's been a long time.
Absolutely, but how you been?
Taking life one day at a time, one booking at a time, one show at a time, one match at a time.
But yeah, it has been a while. So one of the things I wanted to get to is when you heard that Invictus was coming back, what was your initial thoughts?
Happiness. Because the Bronx has a kind of weird history of wrestling. Of course, everybody who's been around for a while knows about the old BWF days. Back pre-pandemic, BWF was the only Bronx wrestling promotion there was, really. And now, Pete Rosato's got We Are Wrestling. Pete Rosato, shout out to him. He's also my commentary partner at Invictus, but he brought We Are Wrestling to the Bronx. And then the WWX is coming up, and now Invictus is here, and they're back. And I always say that another company makes wrestling better. More product for the fans, because fans can't make every show. More product for the boys. More work and more pay is never a bad thing. And for commentary, and I tell people this all the time, it's always easy as a wrestler, because when the show goes on, you might have 20 to 40 wrestlers, depending on what's going on, booked on a show. It's easier for a wrestler to get on. Referees, you might need 3 or 4. But commentary is only you can only have 2, maybe 3 max. And I don't really like 3-man booths, but so when they came back, I'm like, oh, another place to work again. And then Alex Seta is a great guy, good friend of mine. So and the Bronx, I feel the Bronx is an untapped market, because when the pandemic came, everybody who was in New York fled to Jersey. Bronx was starving for some wrestling, and Invictus does some really good shows. So I know I went on a tangent, but
no, you're good. I'm actually pulling up the card right now, because I have the poster for the show on the 17th. I just didn't get a chance to pull up the actual matches themselves here, so just bear with me 30 seconds. I hope Alex posted the matches. Oh yeah, okay. One of the matches I definitely want to talk about, and this is a match that I know the last 2 times these two have interacted has been match of the year candidates, and that's the All-Father Darius Carter taking on Edith Surreal.
That's that's a feud that's been going on for a while. It was Darius Carter's music that played during the Edith Surreal Clara Carreras match way back when. The first time we went to the Bronx Brewery, that cost Edith Surreal the women's championship. So, and then Darius Carter, the sly devil that he is, when he and Edith tied up 1-on-1, he ripped her mask off, and she had to cover her face. She couldn't kick out of the pin. So he's leading that series. He's the master of the mind games, and anytime you're a master of mind, because wrestling is just as mental as it is physical. So I got to give the advantage to Darius, even though the man. See, the thing that kills me about Darius, he is so talented. He doesn't need to do what he does, meaning he doesn't need to take those shortcuts. But when you got a guy who's willing to go to any levels to win, he's the man to look out for. So I think he's going to win this one.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I was actually the match you were just talking about, the one where Darius ripped off Edith's mask. I remember that. Wasn't that one in Ridgefield Park, if I remember correctly?
No, that was in Ridgefield Park. And people forget, this is going to be a last person standing match. So there's no pins, there's no submissions. It's whoever gets knocked off their feet and can't answer the 10 count.
Yeah, and with Darius, I mean, we've seen what he's done on the independent scene as a whole. Obviously, now he's in ISPW. He's done, I mean, he's literally like people, I've even said on this show, if they had a Mount Rushmore of independent wrestling right now, and especially in the Northeast, the argument could be made to have him on there with everything, with all of his accomplishments.
Yeah, and you know what the worst part is? There's no disqualifications in the last person standing. So Darius Carter is somebody who loves to break rules. He never saw a rule that he didn't want to break. But when you put him in a match where everything's legal and there's no rules, I'll be even more scared of him then.
Well, especially, and I agree with you, especially with the way his mind goes and how low he's willing to go to win a match, even when there are rules. It's definitely going to be a very interesting match, to say the least. But I want to keep things moving here, because we also have Jared Diaz taking on Gabriel Sky. This match is, I think, probably one of the most. These two guys are incredibly athletic, to say the least. And these guys, I think, could put on a good match. How do you see this match playing out?
So, little peel back of the curtain. Gabriel Sky and I went to the same dojo back when I was in wrestling school. So he and I are both products of a wrestling school out in Long Island, and I think that I got to side with my guy, man. I mean, not to take away anything from Jared Diaz. The last time he popped up at Invictus, he and LSG had a hell of a match. That also happened in the Bronx Brewery. And I think Gabe Sky is just going to be more game for it. Gabe Sky, he's overdue some wins at Invictus, man. His Invictus win-loss record is is not that great. So I think that he's gonna go all out and be a strong spirit and bring this one home.
Oh, I can see that. And I've seen Jarrett Diaz before. I've seen him kind of come up in the last couple of years, and he's really coming to his own, I think is the best way I can put it.
Yeah, Jarrett Diaz is a hell of a
but I want to keep things moving here because like
oh no, go ahead. I guess there's some sort of delay. I was just gonna say, going back to Diaz, he's a hell of an athlete. Like that kid, I've never seen a Jared Diaz match I didn't like.
no, and yes, by the way, there was a little bit of a glitch here for a second, but no, guys, there's no QR code that's gonna pop up. Trust me. But want to keep things moving here because we also have in action Killian McMurphy will be taking on Trey Felipe. Again, two guys who can definitely put on a good match. How do you see this one playing out?
Killian McMurphy will win because Big Dust will be with him. Killian McMurphy on a bit of a win streak in Invictus. And every time he's won a match, it's because Big Dust has gotten involved in some way, whether he hit somebody, choked somebody, or distracted the referee to give Killian an opening. So that's not to take away from his opponent, but Killian's got this one in the bag. Trey Felipe is a great young up-and-coming talent, by the way. The last Invictus show in Roselle Park, which is his hometown, he blew the roof off. Those people out there love him, but he's going to be in the Bronx this go-around, so I don't know how that's going to translate.
It's definitely going to be interesting. And another match I want to look at is actually for the Invictus Tag Team Championship, because I feel like making their return for the first time in years, it seems like. The team of Fight or Die, which is Chris Barton and Dominic De Niro, will be taking on Memory Museum. Do you think the fact that we haven't seen Fight or Die in a while now, do you think that's going to play some sort of role in this match?
Of course. Big part of tag team wrestling is unity, cohesion, chemistry. And when you got two guys who haven't spoken to each other in what, a year and a half, a year maybe, and they're not getting along, there's no way. There's no, especially when the other two guys who are opposing them, they're young, they're up and coming, they're hungry, they want it. So I think Memory Museum has the advantage just because Fight or Die is not on the same page. And we've seen it before throughout wrestling history.
And the funny thing is, I remember when Fight or Die went for the titles originally, because if memory serves me right, they took on Milk Chocolate.
They beat Milk Chocolate in a street fight in the Bronx. I was there.
And I remember, because I'll never forget the match they had at the 2-year anniversary show. When I think they actually opened the show, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Fight or Die, they went on a lengthy run, John. But like I said, it's all their past accomplishments are great. But again, these are guys who haven't teamed. This is gonna be their first time teaming in God knows how long. I don't see how they could, if they're not getting along, I don't see how they could. I don't even, it's like team sports, tag team wrestling. So how do you game plan with a guy, and how do you plan some type of strategy with a guy that's not even going to talk to you?
Yeah, and it doesn't, and a lot of also with tag team wrestling is chemistry. And if you're not on the same page, you're not going to have chemistry. There's no other way to put it.
Yep.
So let me ask you this then. Do you think there is a good chance then that at this show we see new Invictus Tag Team Champions walking out?
Memory Museum, 100%.
But now let me ask you this. Do you think the scenario is played out where Memory Museum wins and then De Niro and Barton go their separate ways? Or do you see something playing out with the two of them where we see them going at it in the ring for a bit before they, go their separate ways?
I don't know. It all depends on what happens in the match because, when there's no chemistry, somebody might accidentally hit their partner, or one guy might be like, I've had enough of this crap, jumps off the apron, walks to the back. It all depends. Again, in my time in the business, I've seen it all. So when it comes to tag teams breaking up on the spot. So, I could go either way. But for two guys who have bad blood, they might come to blows. They might not. I don't know.
It's definitely going to make things interesting. Guys, you're not going to want to miss this. Invictus Pro Wrestling presents Wicked City, Friday, May 17th at the Bronx Brewery. Doors open at 7:30. Bell time is at 8. I want to look now at the Invictus Women's Championship because that will be on the line as well, as Clara Carreras will take on Kaya McKenna for the belt. Or actually, I think it's no, it is, that's the way it is. I was just making sure I double check on that one. How do you see this one playing out?
Word around Invictus, whether it's in the locker room or amongst people that are there all the time, is that Clara Carreras has been the most fluke champion in history because every match she's ever gone into, even when she won the title, nobody expected her to win. Every title defense she ever had, nobody expected her to retain. So, but then at some point you got to ask yourself, she keeps on winning. When do people stop saying that it's luck and they're saying that it's skill? As far as Kaya McKenna, this is her Invictus debut. I haven't seen much of her, but from what I know, she's like a staple in the New England area up north. But again, never seen her compete from live. From what I have seen on tape, she's a formidable competitor. They can go either way because again, Clara just has that mystique around her that she's just been lucky. I mean, all the title defenses she's had thus far, a lot of people counted her out before the match started and she won. But again, luck's either got to run out at some point or we got to start giving her respect. But this one could go either way. I can't call it.
Well, I think it's almost safe to say that she's almost fighting with a chip on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though, and it's very similar, it's going to be a weird comparison, but I hope you see where I'm coming with this. It's almost very similar to Sami Zayn right now with the IC title. In the sense that Sami, if you notice, since he's won that IC title, he still fights like he's the underdog.
Yeah, because some people are just 24/7 underdogs.
And Clara, to me, the fact that nobody thought she was going to win the belt originally, and she's had a ton of title defense ready for that belt, I think she's just looking at it as, nobody thinks I can pull it off. So she almost has a chip on her shoulder just to kind of sit there and be like, look, I'm proving all my doubters wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I didn't see any other matches announced. Because I know, I'll look at the poster here. I know PJ Savage is on the poster, so I don't know if there was other matches announced, and I just didn't see them.
I can only speak on what's been posted thus far, but the same matches that you saw are the ones that I know of. So I don't have any inside information.
Hey, all I know is it's going to definitely be interesting. But I just want to look, with you with the commentary stuff because I've said this for a while now. You don't see many consistent commentator teams in independent wrestling because usually, scheduling or something. But with yourself and Pete Rosado, and I said this when we had Pete on the show a couple months ago, you two, to me, are like the top of the top when it comes to commentary teams. Especially the part where you can be on the other side of the room and you can still hear Pete Rosado doing a play-by-play.
Somebody said it. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but somebody said it. No, Pete Rosado's he's a class act. I've learned a lot from him. He actually taught me a lot of things. So and it's always a pleasure working with Pete. And I think we work so well together because we're friends outside of the business. So he and I every now and then we'll talk some sidebar stuff. We have our own baseball podcast that's gone a couple episodes. So yeah, when you get along with and you like the person you're working with, it just makes everything so much more easier.
What what has he taught you, that has stuck with you?
More importantly, knowing when to say what, if that makes sense. Certain things. Say that again.
No, that makes 100% sense because you don't want to say something and have it doesn't fit with what's going on.
Not only not fitting, but like let's say you have babyface versus heel. Certain things like background information you want to reiterate early on in the match so as not to take away from what's going on when the match hits its peak. Because wrestling matches, I always tell people when they ask me for commentary tips, when you're commentating a wrestling match, it's like a mountain. You start at the bottom of the mountain, and then as the action goes and the story goes, you go up, 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 and then the end of the match is down. So, if there's a feud going on, like two guys, this is their third time wrestling, they hate each other. You want to get that information out there immediately, so that way, if somebody who's not familiar with the product is watching, they'll be like, oh, so this is why these two guys are fighting, and one guy just went to go hit the other guy with a chair 2 minutes into the match. Or if the match is cold, like these two guys don't have any history, this is the first time ever they're meeting, you tell the people why the match is important. You don't want to do that in the middle of the match. You want to do it in the beginning. Just like at the end of the match, you want to put over how big of a win that is it for this guy, or depending on if the heel won, depending on how he won. Oh, this is not the last time we'll see these two guys. Just when to say what you want to say.
No, that makes a lot of sense, because especially with the part of, you want to get the background information out of the way first. You're basically telling people, hey, you're kind of almost in essence kind of bringing people up to speed on what's going on, in case people haven't either been to a show or haven't watched. You don't want to sit there and all of a sudden be in the middle of the match and say, oh, by the way, this is match number 3 in this series, and here's the story of what led to it. You want to kind of put that in the beginning. I totally understand that.
So perfect example, John. You like baseball, right?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure you watch a baseball game on TV a time or two.
Absolutely.
So how in baseball teams play each other maybe 3 games in a row or 4 games in a row before they play the next opponent. So if you're watching the second game of a series, you don't want the announcer to tell you in the bottom of the 7th when the game is tied, oh yeah, by the way, these two teams played last night and the Mets won. No. At the beginning of the broadcast, maybe about the first couple pitches, well, last night the Mets had a great night at the plate, blah 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 blah. It's certain time, because if I say that in the middle of the game when it's a pitcher's duel, it's not gonna make sense. Why would anybody care 7 innings in that the Mets beat the same team last night 14-4? So it's just knowing when to say what, and that's another thing that Pete and I do. We were both sports broadcasters in college. He wrote for sports journalism for his college's newspaper. I actually did broadcasting on my college radio station. So we both have a sports-based approach to how we call matches and call wrestling in general. So that helps out a lot.
No, and I totally get that. And like I said, I think between you guys also tell the story. You guys also put over the guys who have to get put over. And you guys, like I said, you guys do a phenomenal job. Like I said, you don't have to, you could have bad hearing and still hear Pete Rosado.
No, hey, listen, you got to be loud and get your point across, though, right?
I'll put it this way. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to make the show, but I'll probably be able to listen to the show all the way out here in Stony Brook, just because Pete is a loudmouth.
Just make sure you tell him that the next time you see him.
I'll be the first one to tell him. Which actually, on a side note, by the way, I do have a hello for you from the ring announcer of Invictus.
My guy, Ryan Peterson.
He also wanted me to let you. Actually, I'll wait till after. I'll wait till the end. But
I know exactly what you're going to say because I'm starting to laugh already. That's a good inside joke we've got.
Yeah, but so what else do you have? Because I definitely want to get into the baseball podcast in a second here. What else do you have from the wrestling side of things that you like to promote?
From the wrestling side of things, I mean, it's been pretty slow for me. It's been a slow year so far. Past next Friday, I don't have anything lined up really. So it remains to be seen. Go ahead.
No, because I know you do a lot of stuff with SWF, and I know they have Mega Slam coming up the end of the month.
Yeah, I'll be at Mega Slam. That's May 25th. That's like the WrestleMania of SWF. So that's going to be good. Always, SWF always puts on some good stuff. So other than that, and then I'll be at IWA in July, Intense Wrestling Alliance out in Nutley. They're also having a show at a Mexican restaurant, which is not far in New York, like right on the Jersey-New York border. It's called the El Nacho Restaurant. Their food is pretty good, by the way. That's Sunday, June 9th. And they ran there last month, and that was a hell of a show.
All right, I can imagine. And yeah, SWF, they definitely do put on good matches. Definitely go check out SWF. Rob Fury and company really put on good matches. But I want to make the transition here for a second because obviously I'm a diehard baseball fan. I mean, I'm a Met fan and I'm a suffering Met fan.
You and me both.
How does it feel being on the podcast and hosting side of things? You know, obviously I know you and Pete do the baseball podcast.
Yeah, so listening to our podcast is very funny because he gets to gloat about the Yankees and I get to cry about the Mets. So but no, it's fun. I usually because I actually watch, I don't just watch like I know some people that watch a sport and like say they're a Yankee fan. They'll only pay attention to what the Yankees do. They'll only watch Yankee games. But me, I have an MLB TV subscription. It doesn't matter. The Mets don't have to be playing in the game for me to watch it. Like tonight, I'm gonna watch the Giants and the Rockies, a game that most people on this on this side of the country are probably not gonna watch. But I just love baseball and I love to talk about baseball. So I spent a good part of my life playing baseball, all the way up from little league and pee wee and t-ball, all the way up to my college days. So baseball holds a very strong spot in my heart, to the point that I don't know if you've caught wind, but I've been posting my Twitch streams lately. All I play is MLB The Show. So yeah, that's literally all I do, brother. Is just eat, live, sleep, read baseball. Basketball's cool, hockey's cool. Football is my close number 2, but I love baseball. I could talk about it objectively every day, and I'll be the first one to tell you the Mets stink. So I'm not biased.
Like, that's like with me. Like people will look at me and be like, "Oh, what's your like order for sports?" And for me, doesn't matter. I could be sitting, where I'm doing the show right now, and it could be 10 o'clock at night, and I'll throw on an Oakland A's game.
Oh, you must really love suffering because those games are hard to watch.
No, I'll go a step further. I don't watch the game. I'll listen. I'll have it on as background noise.
Oh, wow.
Because to me, I'll sit there and I'll watch a base. I'm like you. I won't sit there and be like, oh, the Mets are playing, I have to watch the Mets. No. If let's say I can listen to the Oakland A's, like right now, after the show ends tonight, I'll probably be able to throw on one of the late night games.
Yep, Dodgers Marlins are tonight, and the Rockies and the Giants are the 2 late night games. So,
but that to me is my whole thing. Is I'm that nutty of a fan. But for me, number 2 will be football. Third for me is basketball. And when people ask me my team, I always say the Knicks.
Okay,
the Nets.
So you have something to be happy about right now.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not one of these people who now have become a Knicks fan because, they are the team right now. I've been a Knicks fan even in the days when we sucked. And that's been most of my life.
What year did you start watching Knicks basketball?
Like probably 02, 03, I remember.
Ooh, so you suffered through Antonio McDyess and Stephon Marbury and the end of Allen Houston's career, and Jamal Crawford and all these other guys.
Yeah, it's been a rough. Like I remember in 2012? I think it was when we had Jason Kidd, Jerry had all these names. Yeah, because it was right when Hurricane Sandy happened.
Yep, Carmelo Anthony, Jeremy Lin, Amari Stoudemire.
I was like, wow, great, we finally have a shot. And then Amari Stoudemire punches the thing down in Miami, and they end up losing that series. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, but the Knicks were number 1 in the East that year. I never forget it. That was Linsanity.
But I'm that much of a Knicks fan that I was there during the bad parts. And unfortunately, there's been more bad than good, to say the least. But to me, it's like I'll either, and this is just to, I'll wrap it up with this, tell you how nutty of a sports fan I am. I'll either listen or watch a baseball game. It doesn't have to be from a New York team. Or I'll watch an old school wrestling video.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I was to show anybody my my playlist on Peacock, it's nothing current. Nothing current. I watch a lot of the old WCW Saturday nights, a lot of the NWAs, the Mid-South stuff, Smoky Mountain, World Class. I'm even and then 90s Nitro before before that jumped the shark. But I don't watch current wrestling.
No, and that's with me. Like I'll sit there and I'll watch. A couple of years ago, I had watched for the first time Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes.
Really?
And I'll tell you this much: it was even before Peacock. It was on the network. That tells you how long ago I'm talking about here.
You know, the old days.
Yeah, the old days, but it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Before you could switch right from WWE to The Office.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just that's just how much of a nutty of a sports fan I am, just in general. But Alfonz, like I said, you're always welcome to come on the show.
Appreciate it.
And the door is always open for you. And hopefully next time we have you on won't be another year and a half.
Listen, man, you extend the invite, I'll take the invite. So I mean, I'm always happy to be here, John. Always happy.
The funny thing is, I just got the notification on my memories on Facebook. I think it was, it was last year when you were on here for the first time, and I'm like, wow, it's been that long already.
Yeah, we gotta make it more often.
Like I said, the door's always open, and I might actually throw the idea in about maybe doing a sports podcast on here. So possibility.
All right, I'll stay tuned, my friend. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. But Alfonz, before we let you go, where can the fans connect with you on social media? And if you want to plug anything else, go right ahead.
So Instagram and Twitter. Well, I guess it's X now. I hate saying on X. It just feels weird. But Instagram / the former Twitter / X. My handle is the same across the board. It's ref_Al_Stevens. If anybody wants to watch me play MLB The Show on Twitch, same handle. And I always post my links when I go live. So I usually like to do what's called AMA, Ask Me Anything. It doesn't have to be wrestling related. I answer all questions as long as they're not invasive or disrespectful. Actually, when we get off of here, I'm probably going to end up on Twitch the same way. So, again, ref_Al_Stevens. And don't forget, the referee Alfonz trading cards are available. Anybody who wants one, it's $5. I'll autograph it for you at no extra charge if you want. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. I like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna be at the Invictus show, but next time I see you, I definitely want to get an Alfonz.
Of course, listen, brother. For you, no problem. I carry them to every show I go to, so it's not an issue.
Like I was saying, I think our paths will cross.
It's inevitable. We're gonna cross paths before this summer is up.
Oh, absolutely. But again, Alfonz, thank you so much for hopping on. I definitely appreciate it. Guys, catch Alfonz as he'll be on the call next Friday, live from the Bronx Brewery, as Invictus Pro Wrestling presents Wicked City. And actually, Alfonz, before we let you go, I actually think because I know I put up a lot of the posters of the shows that I have coming up. And oh, yeah. What do you know? I have the poster right here.
Oh, no, wrong finger. There we go. No.
Nope, all the way.
There we go. There we go. Wherever it is, you people see it on the screen.
Yep. But guys, there it is. You'll see all these people in action. Obviously, some of them are not announced matches yet, so we'll see what happens when the time comes. But guys, like I said, catch Alfonz as he's on the call with Pete Rosado not this coming Friday, next Friday. I get my dates mixed up here. Also, if you go to Invictus, say hi to the ring announcer, Sexy Ryan. He's going to kill me that I put it out there for Invictus, but hey, like I said, the guy has done great. But Alfonz, again, thank you so much for hopping on. I appreciate it a lot. Guys, definitely go check out Alfonz on his Twitch. I'll try to see if I can get that link for your Twitch in the description box below.
No problem. All right, guys, I'll see you.
All right, Alfonz, have a great night.
You as well, my friend.
All right. Guys, that was Alfonz Stevens joining the show right now. There we go. And guys, want to get back into some wrestling talk here, but before we do that, do got some more comments coming in here. First, Warren says, yes, because he tucked in his chin. I actually been sarcastic because I'm injured due to well, Warren, I'm sorry to hear that. And Mark says, diehard Knicks fan here too. No, Mark, it's the Knicks right now are definitely good. And like I said when we had Alfonz on, I'm not one of these fans who think now it's cool to be a Knicks fan. No. I've been a Knicks fan through all the bullshit. I want to keep things moving here because, like I said, guys, we got a lot of stuff still to get to right here. we're going to take a quick commercial break. And by quick commercial break, I'm probably just going to play a video. And guys, we'll be right back with some AEW talk as they are approaching Double or Nothing, the end of the month. And then we'll have some indie talk as well. As bottom of the hour number 2, Ronald, Ribera, and Craig Palmer from UWA. But guys, when we come back right after this, I will be announcing who my guests will be for the July 6th episode that I'll be doing live from the ECW Arena in between Who Runs the World and United We Stand. So guys, check out this video I took from the Busted Open Party at the ECW Arena at this past WrestleMania. We'll be right back right after this. You're listening to the Around the Ropes podcast right here on the Around the Ropes YouTube channel. See you guys in a bit. And we are back right here on the Around the Ropes podcast live right now. Guys, at the bottom of the hour, Ronald Ribera and Craig Palmer will be joining us. They are from UWE, Upstate Wrestling Entertainment. Guys, go subscribe to Upstate Wrestling Entertainment. They put on, I should know this, I've been there for all the tapings already. But they put on some really good tapings, and I definitely want to, talk to both of them as things are really picking up, especially they just announced for their next set of tapings June 29th. No, June 23rd. Sorry, my bad. June 23rd. Bob Evans will be doing a seminar from 11 to 2, so you're not going to want to miss that. And actually, they might be joining us now. So just bear with me 2 seconds here, because this is the fun part with doing a live show is things can change at the flip of a switch. And guys, like I said, what UWE does is really, really freaking good. They put on great matches, all that fun stuff. And I think we're about to be joined here in a matter of moments by our 2 guests right now. So just bear with me 2 seconds here. But okay, I think they're about to hop on. But guys, what UWE is doing right now in upstate New York, we all know the upstate wrestling scene is definitely an interesting scene to say the least. Because, yes, you have different sections. I know you have, the Rochester area and all that stuff. But the area that I look at with this show is the Albany, Schenectady, Utica, Troy, that area. And in there, you got 3, you got 3 promotions. you have Immortal Championship Wrestling, you have the Dynasty, and you have UWE. UWE right now is almost coming off like, I hate to put it like this, but you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. If you remember back in the 90s, when you had WWE, WCW, and ECW, that's essentially what's happening right now in upstate New York with the Dynasty, Immortal, and UWE. Yes, UWE is not on the level of the Dynasty or Immortal yet, but they're slowly getting there. And with what they're doing, it's absolutely incredible. I don't want to spoil what's upcoming in the further tapings that you're going to see, because definitely you guys should check them out. But I'll put it this way. There was a promo cut where we didn't know if it was a work or a shoot. Let me put it that way. And even afterwards, when they did some interviews backstage, it was the same thing. So definitely we'll talk to them about that. But guys, again, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page. It costs you nothing. It does wonders for us. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it now. And all of that fun stuff. Couple of quick programming notes. This Friday, I will be live ahead of Blitzkrieg Pro as they present home live from Enfield, Connecticut. Time to be determined. Definitely check out our social medias. I'll have that posted as soon as possible. Saturday, we'll be at the Creative Pro Show. Yes, I am going to a show on Long Island. So I got that coming up on Saturday. Obviously, we got that stuff coming up. Ace Pro Wrestling returns on May 25th, so we'll definitely have stuff with Ace coming up in the next couple of weeks. The Dynasty returns on June 1st with Sounds Gay I'm In from Schenectady Pride, so you're not going to want to miss that. Gateway to Immortality 2 is going on June 8th. Yes, Mark, I know, finally. I know, shocker, breaking news. I am going to a show on Long Island. But then in a couple weeks, I'm going back to Jersey, so it tells you how much I go to Long Island shows. But, and eventually, I'm going to put this out there right now, eventually I will make it to a VPW show. I know, that's going to shock some people. That might even send shockwaves through the New York wrestling scene. But I do also want to just make a quick mention here. If you're in the Albany area tomorrow night, the last match is coming to Empire Live. I have not had the chance to see it. I know they'll be down here in the New York area, tri-state area on the 10th, I think, on Saturday, live from where House of Glory does their shows. Guys, if you're a Broadway fan and you're a wrestling fan, this is a show you're not going to want to miss. Again, I haven't had a chance to see it personally myself. I've only seen clips about it, and I'm completely jealous of that because I definitely want to see this show at this point. So hopefully in the coming weeks, hopefully I can definitely get a chance to see it. As somebody who is a little bit of a Broadway nut, not as much as, some other people I know, like Ryan Peterson. But, and that's supposed to be a joke. But no, that's one of the shows I definitely want to get a chance to say the least. So guys, like I said, if you're in the Albany area, definitely go check out the last match happened in Empire Live. If you go to Last Match Musical on Facebook, you can get all your information. You can probably buy your tickets either through the Last Match Musical or through Empire Live. Definitely, if you have the chance to go to a show at Empire Live, I definitely recommend it. It's a very interesting venue, to say the least, and it is a venue that for the two Dynasty shows that I went to there, and I said this in since then, the Capital Gains show and It Was All a Dream. Both of those shows, freaking just the lighting alone. And I know I'm so gung ho on it, but if you guys see the pictures taken by Andrew Edler and Jason Zupardi, two of the better photographers in the New York area, you see it in the pictures that they take. Hell, if you want to call a spade here for a second, the photo that you guys see of me going like this, that was taken at It Was All a Dream on the ramp. So You definitely don't want to miss a show. I know the Dynasty returns to Empire Live on June 29th. And actually, as we wait for our guests to join us, I can make one announcement that making its return. Where the frick is it? Making its return. In the week leading up to it. I did this before. It was all, brace for impact. I'm going to do the same thing again for this. Preview week, or as Dynasty week, however you want to look at it, returns starting on June 20. I think that's June 24th. Yeah, June 24th. The link will be posted. The picture will be posted on our social media pages tonight. But yeah, guys, the Dynasty Week returns. You guys loved it when I did it before Brace for Impact, and I'm going to do it again. All leading up to the show, June 29th, where I more than likely will be live once again prior to Light Up the Sky. So you're not going to want to miss any. You're not going to want to miss any of that. Just want to make some other announcements as well. Upcoming, while we wait for our two guests to join us, this coming Friday, Blitzkrieg Pro presents Home, happening from Enfield, Connecticut. Obviously, we are one of the sponsors, so I want to thank Phil for allowing us to be a part of the show. The match we are sponsoring, we'll see Sammy Diaz taking on Jordan Oliver, so you're not going to want to miss that. Then on Saturday, Creative Pro returns to Melville, New York for their 10-year anniversary show. Guys, it's a loaded card. Creative Pro, as much as a joke has been made on the show of me never going to an independent show, this Creative Pro is one of those companies you definitely want to go to. There's going to be a lot of great action. I know Danhausen's on the card. Brian Myers is on the card. Eddie Edwards is on the card, so you're not going to want to miss that. Keep things moving here. I mentioned Invictus before. Beach Games is happening for Pro Wrestling Magic on May 18th, live from the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Then coming up on May 25th, the same day as King and Queen of the Ring and Double or Nothing, that weekend we have Ace returns with Anarchy, and some of the matches already announced on that card. Yeah. Rounding into June now, on June 1st, live from Schenectady Pride. Sounds gay, I'm in. Dynasty Wrestling. On June 8th, Immortal Championship Wrestling presents Gateway to Immortality 2, which will see Sebastian Braun challenge Sean Carr in his first title defense. It was announced earlier today, Adriana Fury takes on Christina Marie for her title. For the tag titles, it was announced that the Backseats are making their debut as they take on the Team Friendship, the team of Mike Skyros and Adam Stone. Also, Epico will be in action as well. I think he's taking on Bill Collier on that show. And also, if you are a trained wrestler and would like to attend the seminar, they are doing a seminar beforehand of whatchamacallit. So you got that coming up as well. Let's keep things moving here. So, like I said, coming up on June 29th, Light Up the Sky, live from Empire Live. July 6th at 1 p.m., Battleground Championship Wrestling presents Who Runs the World, their first all-women show. I actually want to check quickly now to see if there was any more announcements made beforehand. So definitely want to go check out what Battleground's doing, because they're doing some really good stuff right now. I just want to check quickly here just to see if what they have coming up. Obviously, like I mentioned before, Battleground is one of those companies that you definitely want to check them out there. They do their shows live from the 2300 Arena down in New Jersey, in PA. Wow. On that card, announced already, holy crap. In the opening round match, this was just announced, for the Philadelphia Street Fight Championship, Juicy Fanu takes on Shellac. Yeah, that one's going to be a bloodbath. Let me just get out of this for a second. Jack Hager. Sorry, my bad. Thought it was Jake. Apparently it's Jack Hager. Also, James Storm Okay, so basically they butchered with the name. James Storm takes on Jake Hager on United We Stand. I'm trying to see if there's any other matches announced tonight, because I know Timothy was putting out a lot of the information tonight. For the women's side, for the Who Runs the World, Sammy Chaos takes on Valerie Verman. Christina Marie takes on Ultraviolet. Mercedes Martinez takes on Holiday. For the BCW Women's Championship, Sue Young takes on Danny Moe. Kid Cash will be in action. And guys, I got confirmation from... Actually, before I make this announcement, David, are you still watching? David Reynolds. Because I think you would appreciate this out of anybody. But, guys, it was announced that the family of the Dynamite Kid will be inducted into their Hall of Fame. And it's more than likely going to happen that the family of Dynamite Kid will be appearing on the On the Ropes podcast July 6th. That's big, because Dynamite Kid is one of the most well-known wrestlers in the world, and especially when it comes to the UK scene, is one of the most top-notch people out there. But yeah, just to have that honor is incredible. To be able to sit there and say that is not something I thought was ever going to happen. And I'm being straightforward right now. Just bear with me 30 seconds. Just want to... I can't even spell tonight. Just give me 2 seconds here. I'm just letting some people know about our next guest. But no, like I said, the fact that to sit there and have Dynamite Kid on this show, Dynamite Kid's family, let me just reiterate that, on this podcast is incredible. But guys, I want to keep things moving here because we will have our guest join us in a matter of moments. We talked about that. Oh, yes, we got United We Stand happening at 8 p.m. It's their second show that night. And so we got that coming up as well, United We Stand. And then right after, I'm going to see something here first. Hold on. Then right after that will be the press conference, which will be hosted by me. Right. But guys, like I said, so we got that coming up as well. And then July 13th, live from the Utica Nexus Center, Immortal Things 5 with your guest. Yes, guys, I'm not kidding you. Your eyes don't deceive you. Minoru Suzuki will be on with us. Well, not on with us, but he'll be at that show. I mean, it'd be great if we had him on, but then we got, this was supposed to be that, but that's something else. But guys, like I said, there's a lot of independent wrestling stuff going on. You're not going to want to miss any of the action and all of that fun stuff. But guys, like I said, with what UWE is doing right now is incredible. They are, and actually, I think our guests are here. I like the title he gave himself. So let me introduce our first guest. I think the other guest is with him. Up from UWA, and from where I am, that seems like another country. Finally making his debut on the On the Ropes podcast.
Finally.
Craig Palmer.
Finally making my debut on the damn podcast. Finally. Yeah, Ronnie's partner. Ronnie's going to do it from the car. He should be coming in any second.
Yep, and he's on right now.
Yeah, there I am.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us this evening.
Oh, not much. Just traveling on home after another busy day. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
What's better? That's better, right?
Yeah, you can see a little bit better with that.
Guys, with what you got, I know you guys have filmed now, what, 6 episodes now? So I know I don't want to spoil what's coming up now, but how many episodes have there been already so far?
Actually, we filmed a total of 7 after this past Sunday.
How impressed have you guys been with the progression of the show, of the episodes so far?
Oh, I think the progression has been great so far. Keeping it slow and steady, I think, has definitely benefited us. It's enabled us to learn a little bit as we're going. Because let's face it, we're all doing this on the fly right now, as far as Greg and myself are concerned. So the addition of the addition of the production company is going to be huge going forward.
Oh yes, definitely. That'll help out a great deal.
Yeah, and also what will also probably help out is if one of the backstage interviewers don't cut across the hard cam while it's being recorded.
Yeah,
well,
John.
I actually,
excuse me.
I thought the hard cam would still be able to be above you because the height differential there. I thought we had that covered, so I'll take the blame on that one.
No, it's fine. I've had I've been known to be a klutz. And I think what happened was when I was walking back, I forgot the hard cam was there.
Oops.
And I tried to squat as much as I can, and it doesn't work out too well for me. But out of the episodes that have aired already, Craig, I'll ask you this first. Who has been the one standout wrestler to you?
That's a very good question. I don't know. It's hard. I like everybody's work. I mean, some people, obviously, Ryan will agree with me on this. Some people genuinely do need more in-ring work, but I don't know. Like the people we bring in do a good job. Our students are slowly progressing. Like they're getting better. Like our referees, like one of our referees was like literally brand new in this past 2 episodes we did, and he actually did a really good job.
Ronald, what about you?
I would say the 2 top students have impressed me the most with the way that they've gone about their business, being Dante Dio and currently Ziwu. Their progression has been fabulous, and their ability they're starting to be able to tell more of a story. It's starting to come off a little bit smoother. Everything's getting a little more comfortable. But as Craig said, our students are just starting out. We're just trying to give them a platform to learn and to get better each and every week, each and every month, each and every show.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I've been up there for every taping so far, and I've even seen the progression. I've seen the progression where I remember the first episode that was taped, I think took like 4 hours.
Oh
my goodness! Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing at that first one, man. We were trying our best and kind of winging it. Now we've got a little bit of a system down, which of course is changing up again now. But at the same time, we've learned from a lot of mistakes already, so we know how to cover those a bit and make do with what we've got. And we're learning to adjust things on the fly. For instance, before this last show, you would have never guessed that the sound table had burned out a chord. I guess it was a pretty important chord too, because no music was playing. So we were able to figure that out on the fly and get that taken care of.
Right. It's all a big learning process for all of us.
Right.
Oh, I totally get it. Trust me. Hey, I look at this way. The fact of, even as a fan, and I still consider myself a fan at certain parts of being in this crazy industry, just seeing all
I think at some point we all do. We still, are fans somewhat, You have to. Don't laugh.
I remember
I'm still a fan, Ronnie. Don't laugh.
But I remember the first episode, I was just going just to check everything out, and I ended up getting thrown in to help with sound.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Joe needed help with sound or whatever. He was doing ring announcing. He was like, "Hey, you're gonna help."
Yeah,
Sometimes
and you
in
helped
business,
and you
that's
helped
how
out
it
a
goes.
ton too.
Yeah, and I've helped even doing the backstage stuff as well, and I'm hoping to continue that
Like,
going further.
Like, actually, it's funny you bring that up because Ronnie brought me a showcase for the very first time, and the gentleman that runs it was like, "Hey, do you want to like run lights or work lights or whatever?" I'm just like, okay, cool, sure." Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was just gonna go hang out, with the boys, learn the business a little bit, Hey, let's do this, and that. I'm like, okay, sure. I had a blast doing it.
That was in Taunton, Mass, right?
Yeah, well, there was the weekend where it was you, me, and Ty, where we went to we had Taunton, Mass, and then Providence, Rhode Island the next day. It was like a Saturday Sunday deal.
Oh yeah. Didn't I win the championship that weekend or something? It's Sons of Liberty or something?
Yeah. He told me before he told you that you were putting the belt on him.
That happens.
He's like, "Shh, don't tell him, Ronnie, we're putting the belt on him." I'm like, okay, I won't tell him.
Oh, we do
That was
have
a
some
great
comments
weekend.
here
I had a lot of fun.
from Brandon Lee, who wants to say, "What's up, guys?" So obviously Brandon's one of the. I don't think he was at the last tapings though.
No, but he was up in February. We had him up here.
Yeah, we missed him on the last set, and hopefully we look forward to having Brandon back. I knew his dad, or know his dad, and I look forward to having him back. That kid, he showed me he could actually work a bit, and wasn't afraid to get in there and do his thing. So we enjoy that. Look forward to seeing him hopefully in June 23rd. Which, of course, we had the big announcement recently about that. Craig, you want to fill him in on that again? Anybody who didn't hear?
Our big announcement is we'll have Brutal Bob Evans as he's coming up to do a seminar, and he'll also be partaking in the next set of tapings as well. So he's going to be wrestling, and he's also going to be having a seminar here. Very, very huge. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. He's been literally around the world.
He's one of the best trainers on the planet. Uncle Bob. The reason he's Uncle Bob to everybody is he's like an uncle to everybody. He's willing to help anybody who's willing to show some passion about this business. Great guy. I've known him for a long time now, and I love him to death. I can't say enough good things about him. So I'm looking forward to seeing him myself. And again, that's June 23rd, and it's $50. Starts at 11 a.m. right at UWE.
Goes till 2 3-hour seminar.
Yeah, and it's definitely. I mean, I remember when you guys had Fox at the last one. It wasn't the last one. It was the one in February.
Yep.
And I mean, the fact that you guys can get people to come in and to do a seminar, I think also helps out and really shows what you guys have done so far in the short amount of time with UWA.
Oh, absolutely.
That's definitely one of our focuses as well, is we don't just want to be a school that's there putting on shows every now and then and, bringing in a name to do a draw, you book a big house, you want to bring in a big name. Okay, that's all great. We want to make sure that the next generation of indie guys are learning the craft. You can learn, by being in a school somewhere, and you can also learn by going to seminars and picking stuff up there. Both are important. You gotta study from both sides of that playing card and spend time under both of those types of trees. Whether you're going to, the Institute of Pro Wrestling, Showcase, Test of Strength, the Monster Factory, all of those trainers will tell you the same thing. If there's a seminar coming, get to the seminar. If it's someone you're interested in seeing how they work, how they think about the business, that's what you got to do. It's all part of it. I mean, I've been in this business for 12 years now. I've been to probably 100 different seminars and took something away from all of them. A couple of them was just take away that, I spent money on something I didn't really want to do. So that does happen too, but you won't find that with Brutal Bob Evans. He is a absolute wealth of knowledge, and you're silly if you're in the Central New York area and don't make your way to that seminar.
Speaking of Central New York, if you're NIDA is not far from Utica, Rome, wherever, it's a 20-25 minute drive max. It's worth the drive. And
same the other way in Syracuse. I know a lot of the Institute of Professional Wrestling guys out there. I know the Rochester guys are only about an hour and a half away to 2 hours. Albany guys about 2 hours. So it's not too far. And We'll probably do something. I'm not going to promise it right now, but there is the possibility if we see someone who comes in and stands out that they get a spot on the show that same day.
That's wow. That's quite impressive. And I'll put it this way: for people who are watching, I live on Long Island. And I'm not even wrestling. I still like the trip up to UWA.
Hey, how is the Long Island scene these days? Is VPW still running down there?
Yeah, VPW is still here. Creator Pro is doing their next show on Saturday.
Tell me, my boy. Tell me about my boy Kevin Tibbs is still down there.
Yeah, he's still down here.
Yeah, still down there working for Bon Jovi. Good Lord, I miss that place. That was a great place down there.
Yeah, and I mean, I laugh. I live 20 minutes away from a lot of these companies, Ronnie, that you're mentioning, but I still make the trip up to upstate New York. There's just something about the upstate wrestling scene that I feel at home with. And it's weird to sit there and say that when I live 20 minutes away from Creator Pro and VPW and all these other companies.
Right. And you know, the upstate scene right now, the CNY scene really, because, you know, a lot of people think of upstate as just being like Westchester County, you know, and the Poughkeepsie area, not Poughkeepsie, Poconos or whatever the hell it is up there. Anyway, the Central New York scene is really, it's doing really well right now. I mean, you've got One Up just starting up. You've got, you know, us at UWE, which has been, we're just starting to create a little mini swell right now. It's a little mini swell, but, you know, we're being realistic of where we are in this equation. You've got Dynasty out in the Albany area. You've got Immortal out here with Mike King. And, you know, there's a bunch of other companies all around us out in Rochester, Buffalo. You know, you got stuff down in Binghamton with Excite. There's great wrestling all over Central New York right now. It's really starting to take off again, and I'm looking forward to see what the future holds for Central New York's wrestling scene.
Absolutely,
it's mind blowing to me because, and I agree with you. I've been going now, the upstate wrestling scene now for the last 2 years. My first show was in August of 22 for NYCW for Jason Stone and that fiasco.
Yep.
And yeah, that was my first exposure to upstate wrestling. And honestly,
so you missed me up there,
huh?
You missed me up there. I was at NYCW for, or NWCY, whatever the hell it was. I forget all these alphabet soups at this point. But NYCW, and
we keep
I wrestled there quite a few times. What's that?
Yeah.
No, I said we keep our name simple with three letters. That's
But yeah, I went up there. They had done the Hall of Fame show that weekend when for the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and that was my first exposure to upstate wrestling. And now it's become part of second nature to me at this point. When somebody looks at me, they go, "Where are you going this week?" I'm like, "Oh, Albany, Schenectady, Oneida." And they're like, "Wrestling." I go, "Where else would I be going?"
Right.
Yeah, I understand that one.
I mean, Craig, you and I have had conversations where you laughed the first time I said, "Oh, I'm going to come up," and you're like, "Oh, you're coming from Albany." I'm like, "I'm coming from Long Island."
Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "You're really driving up for like 6 hours?" You're like, "Oh yeah, I'll be up there." I'm like, "Okay."
Yep.
Mind you, our first taping was in January, so that's like basically the middle of winter, and you still made the drive up. Luckily, it was a nice day.
Going home was fun, but that's for another story.
Yeah, you've already told that story. We'll just leave that as that. But you know, that's a great road story you got, though.
Ronnie, I'll put it this way: took me a little bit longer to get home from that first set of tape-ins than it should have.
Yeah.
Craig can fill you in on that story later on.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
But the other thing also is, the one thing I also like with UWE is, you know, they have the backstage stuff as well. And I know I've done some. I know you guys have had Billy do some. How have you seen the progression with that going from when you guys first started to now with that?
I think it's gotten a lot better. I mean, we're still we're gonna next in June. Yeah, it's next month already. In June, we're gonna work out another system because the past couple episodes, no one has told me where anything that's being filmed backstage where it goes. So it's my job to try to figure out where the hell everything goes. So we had this conversation where in June Yeah, you laugh. I got to figure out where the hell everything goes promo-wise. Oh, this goes here, that goes there. So, like, in June, we're going to make up a system to where, okay, we're shooting this for this. This goes after here. Because it's – I mean, I love this business with all my heart. Learn all this backstage stuff and learn how to do this. It's a blast for me. I'm having fun with it.
Right. The production stuff was definitely
like, shit, where these all go.
Right. Like the production aspect was something that Craig and I came to a bit of a head on, because it was like, okay, we have to learn this now.
Absolutely.
And neither one of us had any experience in it. So it was okay, let's learn how to do it. And we're learning together, we're learning on the fly. It's coming together. Has it gotten better? Yes, absolutely. I think some of the guys promo wise and creatively are starting to learn and come out of their shell. John, you were there. Did you, now without letting cats out of the bag, I myself jumped on for a promo backstage at the last shows. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I was standing there, and I remember when you cut that promo. And again, I'm not going to spoil what happened.
Right.
You left a lot of the guys back there, mouths were on the floor. I think it's the best way.
And that's where a lot of guys, they're starting to learn that, okay, we have to get better at all the aspects, not just one thing and then this thing. You can't just be good at running the ropes, right? You got to be good at submission style. You got to be able to take a bump. You got to be able to sell. The face is what sells, right? So when you're cutting a promo, your face still has to sell. And if I left all those gentlemen that are, considered workers and or students and or professionals with their jaws agape, then that means I'm doing something right. So hopefully a lot of those guys take that kind of an example and start to run with it with the backstage stuff next time. And Craig and the production crew will figure out how to plug everything in. I'm going to stay far away from that.
Thanks.
Well, just an idea, just to bring it up, make it feel a little bit more. And this is just something I thought of. Instead of doing the backstage stuff first, if let's say you're having, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going to have Bobby Bates do a promo after segment 1, for example. Would it make give it a little bit more of a feel to it? Have the interview, have that whole backstage thing be recorded, like literally you have match 1 done, and then you go right into the.
And that's something we want to. That's something we want to do once we have a live studio audience. Right, that's something we talked about when we have a live studio audience. Yeah, doing it just like that, so it goes straight from the interview platform to the ring, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. Kind of like WCW used to do back in the day. The NWA that kind of is doing it now. To have a designated area for that and just kind of have it go from one to the other, so that it becomes just an even flow of from here to here, and then when it gets to YouTube, it'll be just as good a flow through the editing process.
Right.
But I was thinking of that because I think Craig, it would help make your life a little bit easier instead of having to sit there and go, okay, here's the first promo, fill in. You just literally do the first match. Right,
it probably would, but with all those hats he wears, I don't. Still be kind of difficult.
By the way, Craig, I do have to say I like your profile picture you posted because you can see my stomach right next to you.
Oh yeah, you could have edited that a little bit more.
You by Billy, yeah. Garrett took that picture. I was like, I got to put that up there.
I mean, I like the picture; it's a great shot. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, I see Billy, I see you. I'm like, wait.
On commentary, you see Ronnie too, and then it's like, oh, there's me.
And then I'm like, wait, where am I? I'm like, oh wait, the stomach that gave it away. But Ronnie, I will say this much again. I don't want to spoil this, guys. Definitely go check out when these episodes come up. Not only the promo you cut backstage, but the promo you cut when you were doing commentary.
Thank you.
It was probably one of the best promos I have seen. Like I even looked at it when I remember watching it live, and I was like, "Is this real or is this part?" Like I know if it was real or not. Like I know if it was like.
And that's what you want from a promo. You don't want them second guessing. But this is real. Like that you want to have that realism to it. And that's one thing I discussed with Ronnie when we first started doing this. He's like, well, how do you want to be different? I was like, I want to be as real as we possibly can be. like with the realism as it relates to like certain things that are going on or whatever. So it's like that. I want to have that like that real type feel to it.
No, and I completely. And Ronnie, you were talking before about with selling. That's one thing I stress on this show on a weekly basis is, and not even talking about it on the independent scene, but I think also in WWE and AEW, there's a lack of selling and a lack of registering when it comes to moves. Do you agree with that at all?
I absolutely do in a lot of cases. There is a difference between registering and selling. And I think that line has not only been blurred, but faded together like a really good haircut, but not in a good way. Especially when I watch like AEW, there is no register. The sells are only selling long enough to set up the next high spot. And some of the art form is lost because of it. 10, 12 years ago, we were calling these guys spot monkeys. And, and now all the indie darlings from that time seem to make appearances on AEW or have major contracts with them, which is great for them. It's great. It's more opportunity. It's more money. It's freed up spots in other companies for the next generation of guys. Don't get me wrong. It's a great thing that we have 2 major companies here in the country. 3 if you count New Japan America, but let's be real. It's really the 2. And I think it's a great thing we have it. I think some of those guys could stand to watch the generation of wrestling that I watch mostly now, which would be, the mid to late 70s, early 80s, that kind of stuff. Where, it wasn't, it seemed realer, and people, if you punched them in the face, they didn't punch you back in the face immediately and then stand there, look at each other, grab the hair, start trading elbows for 27 minutes, and then nobody even falls down because you still got to do the 14 super kicks. You see, there's no register, there's no sell. It's only long enough until the next super kick comes and the next leg slap. Whereas honestly, a lot of these guys, whereas with a lot of these guys, if they had ever been in a real fight in their life, they would know what it's like to register a punch and to sell a punch and how that hurts.
And that's one thing I have been preaching on this show for the last 3 years. Because I'm coming at this from my fans' perspective, and I'll watch. And that's one of the things I like with what UWE does is, and Ronnie, you mentioned his name before, Dante Dio.
Yeah.
I think Dante Dio right now is becoming almost like the Dolph Ziggler of UWE in the sense of he sells great. If he gets hit with, if they do a suplex on him, he'll sit there for a couple minutes to, sell the spot.
Oh yes. He's even gotten me. And me and him have traveled literally tens of thousands of miles together. We've done hundreds of matches together as a team, and in a multitude of states. Like, we've literally traveled everywhere from Maine to Alabama together. And he has recently gotten me on 2 separate occasions where I asked the referee to check on him, and I asked if he's okay in the ring because he got me. He's coming into his own, and he's quite the salesman, and he's quite the worker.
Yeah, and that's one thing. And another name I just want to mention is Bobby Bates. I know we haven't seen him yet in UWE ring. We've seen him more do the backstage stuff. And even with what he's doing, I'm intrigued to see where his whole story goes, because he comes off very much like Bray Wyatt, almost like you kind of don't know what to expect from him, if that makes sense.
I understand exactly what you're saying, yeah. And I'm not, Bray Wyatt was in a class of his own. Let's be real for a minute.
Absolutely.
He was a generational talent that was lost entirely too soon. I keep hoping with the rumors of a Bray Wyatt family, they faked it just to swerve us all really bad, but obviously that's not the case. and I could see Bates pulling off a similar thing. I don't think he could ever do it. He'll never be Bray Wyatt.
No,
But I'm hoping he comes into his own as Bobby Bates.
And only reason I remember this was I just saw the screenshot of the first episode airing on the new network that you guys are working with.
Yep.
Oh, AIWF.
AIWF.
And it just so happened the screenshot of episode 1 that they did was a picture
With him, him with Billy, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yep.
I saw that. I'm like, I'm sitting, I'm going, first of all, great shot of it, but like you could just see it in his face. And I agree, he's not of he's not Bray Wyatt himself, but he's becoming his own. And I'm very curious to see where he goes from there.
Oh, well, we will definitely see very soon where he's going to go with that.
Yes.
Whether or not he thank you, Billy. I appreciate that. Just
Hold on, we lost Ronnie.
But
lost
let me just go to some of these comments here quickly. Billy chimes in and goes, "Hey everyone, what's up, Big Bossman Craig and Promo King?" Yeah,
how's it
she's
going, Billy?
100% right. And I think Ronnie is back.
hey, am I back?
Here we go. Hold on. Oh, there he is.
Yep, you're back.
You're back.
Hello.
But
Yeah, you're back.
yep, you're back. But
All right.
Ron, I mean, Billy said it. I mean, we were saying, well, no, we're talking about Bobby Bates, and he's gone again.
Yeah, he's gone again. Damn technology.
Craig, it's like the South Park meme where it's and they're gone.
Yep. Yeah, they're gone again.
Oh, let's try this one more time. Technology is great.
Yeah, no, you gotta love modern technology.
Yeah, now I'm a little confused because I just keep bouncing in and out here. I think I don't have a very good signal for this right now. Sitting in my driveway. But yeah, so yeah, I think you're absolutely to the Bobby Bates point. I think you're absolutely right. I think he's coming into his own, and I think he's going to do just fine as far as that goes. He's got great charisma and great talent, and I think he's going to be hopefully a mainstay at UWE for years to come.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Ronnie. I totally agree with that. Ronnie, if you have to run because of the service, you definitely can.
Yeah, I think I'm going to actually have to bow out because like it's starting to get all jumbled and pixelated on me, and I can only hear about half of that. So I don't know how it is for you guys. I hope it's clear.
It works out fine.
Speak well of me, and if you don't speak well of me, then I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna break your face. All right, take care, guys.
All right, take care, Ronnie.
See you, Ronnie.
Guys, that was Ronnie. Craig, you're more than welcome to stay on if you like.
What's that?
You're more than welcome to stay on.
Oh, I know, yeah.
But no, like I said with Ronnie, the promo that he cut, and again, I'm trying so hard not to spoil it.
Yeah, we don't. They're not airing us, so we're not going to spoil everything once we play catch up because we're at 4 episodes. They're still not have aired yet, and that's on me because 2 of them I had to send to an editor. Now, obviously, with the new production company, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So once the episodes get caught up, they will be airing once a month.
Okay, that's. Then I also want to ask you this. I was going to ask Ronnie this as well. Of the matches, let me rephrase that. Of the episodes that have already aired, I have to specify this specifically.
Yeah, only 3 of them aired. Yeah.
What has been your favorite match to see?
That's a good question. Favorite match? I don't really have a favorite match, but I think for me, it's the character of Ziwu kind of intrigues me. Like he's a dark, mysterious character that like nobody really knows anything about. I kind of intrigued about it because like you don't know what he's gonna do next, or like the guy barely speaks. But But he is the WFR champion right now, currently as we speak.
Yeah, and I definitely would say with his character right now, it is. I mean, I'll go back to the match he had with Brother Jonas. I think that was at the February tapings.
That was the February things I haven't aired yet, but yes, he phenomenal job. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it is incredible right now with what. I'm gonna actually. I'll bring up the comment now. One of the other companies we work with is Blitzkrieg Pro. I think you've heard of them actually, based out of the Massachusetts, Connecticut area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't believe I'm about to do this. Craig, you're probably gonna laugh at this. The ring announcer, Phil McManus, chimes in. He goes, "John, the master of the bull penis Blaine is my favorite character."
Do I even want to know that backstory?
I'll tell the backstory here. Where I work for a pet warehouse down here on Long Island. And one of the things that we deal with quite a bit is we deal with bull penis. Not the actual thing itself, but, all that fun stuff.
So I ask you, when you work at a slaughterhouse?
Well, no. What happened was we get the stuff after it's been, I'm about to say this again, after it's been cut off.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So nothing's attached to the animal when it gets to our warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the joke is I deal with a lot of bull penis, so yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So Phil goes,
don't be shy.
Phil, I'll see you Friday. I'll bring you. How about Phil? I'll bring you a present. I'll bring you a bull penis. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
I'll be at the warehouse anyways on Friday. What did he say now? What did he say now? Oh,
that's all loose, not attached. Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. No, Phil, it won't be attached. Trust me. The one time you say something on a show and all of a sudden it becomes,
that's how it
running
goes.
Gag on here.
Yeah, that's how it goes. The running gag. Yeah.
What did Billy say here?
Yeah. Oh my God, Phil, out loud. Yeah, agreed.
I mean, Billy. I mean, Craig. Oh, what is it now?
Oh, we got more.
I would say we were having a very nice discussion about UWE and the seminar that you guys are doing before the tape-ins in June, and now we're talking about bull penis. Around the Ropes podcast, penis.
Yeah, it's like it's live, people. It's what you get.
Well, Craig, also I'll put it this way: it's because it's the Around the Ropes podcast, and I've always said Around the Ropes is Howard Stern meets Busted Open.
Right.
So it's everything gets put on the table.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh God!
And I know you're probably still watching Billy. You do a phenomenal job backstage. You're doing great with our interviews. Oh.
I demand attention, and now
we're talking about your first love. Go back to wrestling.
But I also there's another guy I want to bring up to you from that we saw at the last tape, and I think this was his debut. No, it was his second run with it, and that's Jeffrey Nova. I have to pronounce his name.
Yes.
No, you have to say the name correctly. It's Jeffrey Nova.
I'm not saying no. I know it's Jeff. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Jeffrey. See, I'm the owner here, so I can say names however I want to say, and not get heat for it. How
have you thought of his performance so far?
I think he's doing great. He's coming into his own with his character. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of reminds me of like a Game of Thrones-ish type character with with the blonde hair and all that stuff. But he does really great work too.
I'm not even responding to what people are saying now because now everybody's talking about the bull penis thing. But
get your head out of your asses, people. Wrestling, damn it.
No, I mean we talk about everything on here, so we talked before about baseball.
That's true.
I also want to get your take on. I said this when I interviewed them at the tape-in. the Stompers.
Okay. Yes.
Or as I call it, Frankie Stopper and his dad, who just came home from Lowe's that day.
Mm-hmm.
How have you thought about with their improvement from when they first joined UWA?
Honestly, from when they first started over a year ago to now, they've come a long way. Unfortunately, Ryan, who better known as Scott Stomper, is unfortunately injured at this current time, which is why he didn't partake wrestling-wise in the last set of tapings. Frankie, on the other hand, I've said it since day one, he does great character work. His character is great. I absolutely love his character work.
I will say this much. I love the fact how, I remember, it's funny, I don't want to spoil what happened, but there was his opponent that he faced. Let me put it that way.
No spoilers. But yes, his opponent he faced.
He made some interesting comments. You guys, you got to wait till this episode airs, which I think should be soon, I think.
Yeah, I think no, that match was episode 7, I believe. So yeah.
I would say that should be coming up soon. So you're not going to want to miss
I got to throw 4 and 5 out there. Unfortunately, 4 we kind of messed up a little bit with camera work, so that's going to be basically pretty much like a highlight episode.
I would say, was that the episode where I walked past Hardcam?
No, that's the episode where me and Ronnie first shot at ourselves. We uploaded footage to my laptop, and some odd reason, the episode 4 hardcam footage disappeared. So all we have is freaking rover footage for episode 4.
Oh.
But the funny thing is, episode 5, everything is there. The hardcam footage and the rover footage is there. So episode 4, unfortunately, people, I hate to say it, but episode 4 is going to strictly be just like a highlight episode, because we don't have hard cam footage, and my editor is currently working on it, and I think he's going to do it in basically just a highlight video of it.
Hey, you got to make what you can of what you have.
That's what I told him. I was like, do what you can. I said, worst case scenario, we'll make it a highlight video. Again, apologies to the fans. We shot episodes 4 and 5 ourselves. I mean, Ronnie, be first to tell you, we're not very tech savvy. We're older generation. I'm still learning technology to this day. But we did what we could. So, and now, thankfully we have Guerrilla Productions who came down, helped out with the last, set of tapings. We're going to be our production company going forward. Big shout out to them. They made the drive from Buffalo down here. I think they said they're out of Buffalo area. They made the drive down here to help us out. They did a great job with it. So.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see what they put together. And hopefully at further tapings, there won't be, a backstage correspondent who decides to walk right past Hardcam.
Hey, you live and you learn. As our first set of tapings, we're all learning as we went. So, hey, what happened?
Do got a comment coming in here from the real Riz.
Oh, one of my students.
Yep, who says, I appreciate you guys, UWE forever.
Another one who did a great job at the taping, which is actually ironically is very, even though we've done 7 episodes, that was this past Sunday was his first time appearing for UWE.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow, that's,
life happens, things happen. Life happens. You come and go, whatever,
But I definitely think
I was very proud because he's actually, if you go back to when we started this over 3 years ago, he's almost one of basically the cream of the crop for new students, the students that I would basically say OGs. Originals will be Z Wu, Brother Jonas, and Riz. They go all the way back to when I first started with the company 3 years ago with training. I think about a month after I started, I opened the doors, Riz came on and started training.
And like I said, I've actually sat on the ring. I've actually never set foot in the ring. Maybe the next set of tapings, I'll step foot in the ring for 2 seconds. Hey, I'll even put myself into, if need be, I'll even put myself out there for a coffin to beat.
Well, we're going to do a quick squash match. Would you? Boom, choke slam. Okay, learn how to take a bump. Okay, do this, do that. Okay, you're done.
Exactly.
It all comes down to what we have worked in the show, too. It's myself, Ronnie, and Garrett. We're the ones that pretty much helm the creative aspect for the shows to go forward. So, and this is all new to the 3 of us, too. I've been a fan for almost 30 years. I'm okay, it's kind of cool. And then to actually get to learn the behind the scenes and how a show works and how this works and be part of this and be part of that, it's absolutely amazing what it takes.
And I've noticed it, with doing this podcast now for 3 years, having the opportunities that I get now,
Right.
and to sit there and watch these shows, because I go to a lot of independent shows.
Oh, you go to any show around your area, and I don't blame you. If you're 20 minutes from a wrestling show, why the hell not? Like, why wouldn't you take the opportunity and go? Like, go. You know what I'm saying?
Or if there's a show 6 hours away in Oneida.
Yeah, like UWE Ultimate is just 6 hours away. Hey, I'm gonna make the drive anyway. But I will give everybody credit. I don't know who's watching from the last set of tapings. I will give everybody credit that partaked in the past 2 episodes. We started at 4 o'clock. We ended at about 8 o'clock. That's probably the shortest time we've ever ran from bell to bell between 2 episodes. Obviously, the first one, it was our first time, so it took about, I think, 6 or 7 hours, give or take, whatever the hell it was.
I remember with
now as we're progressing, it's going a lot more smoother, so the time is not too bad. Yeah, call time is 2 o'clock for everybody. So if the show's over 8, you're here 6 hours. It's almost like a whole entire workday. I myself was here probably a little before 1, and obviously, myself and some of the guys stayed behind to help clean up a little bit. So myself, being here early as I can, like, case in point, June 23rd, the seminar is going to be 11 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock. So I'm going to be here from probably 10:30 till all the way 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I'm going to be here like a 9-10 hour day come June.
Oh, wait.
Things prepped for our seminar, the guys that come in for the seminar and all that stuff. So it's people think, oh yeah, I'll go to a show. It's easy. It's it's fun. It's easy. Yes, it's easy. I mean, it's fun to enjoy, but it's very tedious work. Like, a lot goes in to doing this. I got to be here. I'm the owner of this establishment, so I got to be here 10:30, whatever time. Bob wants to come up and meet beforehand before the seminar starts. So I gotta be here. I gotta help do this, do that. It's a process. It really is. It puts a lot of it on me. I'm the sole owner of this company, so a lot of it falls on me.
Believe me, I've seen it the last couple of tapings. I've seen it,
yeah.
And
like Ronnie said, we all wear multiple hats. Ronnie does creative. Ronnie trains. Ronnie books the talent. I'm the one that reaches out and says, hey, who's available? And then we go, okay, this is who we got. This is who we do this with. And this is what we figure out.
And I see that, because I see that when we're doing the taping. Now, for the people who are watching who see the tapings, where we're sitting like to the corner.
Yeah, you guys are like kind of like off to the right where like the backstage-ish area kind of is where you're watching it.
Yeah.
Or just for you fans that have me on Facebook, just look at my profile pictures. You'll see exactly where we're standing.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it, but yeah.
John, you'll see me. I was timekeeper for the second episode. Ronnie jumped on commentary because half of our production team had to leave because somebody had to catch a flight, so they had to go. So I took over as timekeeper, and Ronnie took over doing commentary was Nick. So it was a lot of fun to actually sit here and watch it firsthand, because the other episode I was backstage watching the monitor, seeing how everybody was doing, and telling them telling people how good of a job they were doing, and all this and that. So
I mean, Craig, I'll put it this way. You guys definitely you won't miss it. Trust me. You'll see Ronnie, you'll see Craig, you see and you see my big stomach right there.
Right. Like exactly. Like you'll see all of us in the picture. But no, the one thing I genuinely take away from this, like, I'm brand new at this, and everything I've taken away in the past 7 episodes we shot is even people that like literally came here for the very first time. We had Showcase Pro Wrestling, had about half a dozen other guys came down here. I've had people actually from, a couple of the wrestlers around here and other people that are messaging me personally. Oh, I had fun. I had a great time. And unfortunately, there's other places where you go. There's bullshit. There's politics. Some people are not in very good moods. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. We generally have like a fun atmosphere where, okay, this is the idea I had. Okay, not really, like, we're not going to. I mean, wrestlers come to us with ideas. Okay, not everything is going to get put into the show, but some way or form or fashion, we will incorporate it into the episode.
Oh no, absolutely. Eventually, there will be an around the ropes match.
Yeah, we still have to figure that out one way or another.
Well, I would say, we do have the next set of tapings coming up. We can figure it out by then.
We're going to be stepping our game up, and hopefully, because I know a lot of people have asked, and are you going to have fans? Why aren't there any fans? For those of you that don't know, why aren't there any fans? Because it's a lot of red tape right now. Doing
I get it.
It's fine. I figured we start out that way, work our way through. This company's 3 years old. We're young. AEW is older than us.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? You got to take baby steps. You got to do it. I was like, okay, I did almost 3 years of just training. And that's one of the things Ronnie asked me. He goes, well, what do you want to do with this company? How do you want to be different? I said, well, I want to homegrown talent. And I also want to be promotion at the same time. So I want to do both.
And it's funny, before you guys hopped on, I made the comparison with UWE, the Dynasty, and Immortal to what we saw in the 90s with WWE, WCW, and ECW. And my point is this.
We're ECW, by the way.
That's what my point was right there. Was you have Dynasty and Immortal, which are the WWE, WCW. I don't care which way you want to look at it.
Yeah, I don't care however you want to put it. Yeah, that's fine. However you want to put it.
But you guys, because if you look at ECW at their prime, they were in a small area. I'm not saying Philly's small, but the building they were in was not a big building.
It was a lot bigger than this building. Not too much bigger, because let me say for the record, I know you've been there. In 2007, I went down to a show. It was like women's only wrestling, or it's like WOW or whatever it's called or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was actually there at the original ECW arena. I get now known as the 2300 arena is what they call it now or whatever.
Yep.
And going down there in 2007, I literally walked in and I looked around. I'm like, how in the hell they get away with half of the stuff they did? Because it's literally a warehouse is what it is. And I'm like, they did like scaffold matches and all that. I'm like, how the hell did they fit all that stuff in here?
Here's the funny part. I found out because they're doing their next show there July 6th, and I will be there because we're doing the podcast live. And
I remember we had this discussion. Yeah, we had this discussion before. Yeah, yep.
I'm hosting the press conference, and there's the famous balcony up by the entrance.
Oh, yeah, the balcony.
More than likely,
I think our very first trainer has done plenty of dives off that. Our very first trainer was super crazy. I think he's done plenty of dives off that back in the day.
Here's the funny thing, Craig. You're gonna more than likely know somebody who'll be sitting in that balcony area. That person will be me.
Oh, no kidding.
I found that out last night when I was talking to the promoter.
Yeah.
But my point is this, though, as far as why I think you guys are the ECW to Immortal and the Dynasty being WWE and WCW. I'm not saying you guys are coming in to cause a disruption like ECW.
Oh, no, we're not. No, absolutely not.
I mean, unless you could also have somebody come in looking like Taz and the Dudley Boys, then that's a different story.
Get the table.
Well, actually, you might actually have the Dudley Boys.
Stopper Brothers.
Bingo.
Exactly. Yep.
Except that who? Okay, no, that's good. I was about to say that who's Devon?
Yeah, that's a good question.
But my point is,
honestly, I'm gonna let them decide. I'm not gonna pick.
My point is this, though, with what you guys have right now, it's definitely like you're seeing a little bit of an influx of UWA in the central New York area. When it comes to the Dynasty and it comes to Immortal, you're seeing bits of UWA.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it with DCW. It's the same, literally the exact same thing. The only difference is, you're not Paul Heyman. No offense.
Oh no, that guy's got the greatest mind in the entire business. Anybody can say otherwise, but Paul Heyman is literally the greatest mind in the history of this business. I will say that till the day I die. I'll stand by that statement. That man is. There's a reason why. I mean, it should have happened years ago, but there's a reason why he's a Hall of Famer.
Well, I think with that, I think they were waiting until they got to Philly because I think they would have gotten a bigger they wouldn't have gotten the same reaction.
Yeah, because obviously the last time they were in Philly for WrestleMania was 1999, and he was still running ECW. So yeah,
because
can't put him in the Hall of Fame then. You know what I'm saying? But he's still running the show. So, but no, my opinion, the greatest mind ever in the history of this business, bar none.
Absolutely. But Craig, I mean, like I said, I have one more topic I want to talk about. You're more than welcome to stay on if you like. Totally up to you.
Yeah, I got some time. I mean, I still have to go to work yet, or whatever the case.
No, I just want to talk. I was going to talk briefly about the upcoming AEW Double or Nothing card.
Yeah, but no, I honestly appreciate the fact you like see us as ECW, and it's funny that before, yeah, because I'm gonna get going, so I gotta get to work after this. And it's funny you would mention that because when Ben was the trainer here while Ronnie was out with his injury, he said, "Oh, we can have like an ECW type feel here, like we can turn this into like a little ECW here," and he's not wrong.
No,
He's not wrong at all. It's, I mean, make it a little bit bigger, yeah, but
I would say.
I don't own the building, but it kind of has like, no, you're right. It kind of has that feel. And honestly, have we had 4 matches here? Yeah, we had.
When you get to that point and you have that first scaffolding match, I want the Stompers in that match.
Oh, scaffold match is definitely not going to take place here. This building's not big enough for a scaffold match.
No, because I would just love to see the Stompers when it comes time to have to climb the scaffold, them to look at each other and go, how do we do this? Or they would turn around and go, oh, Patricia's up there.
Yeah, pray to God they're not afraid of heights like Devon is. He's going on record. And how many ladder matches has that man been in? I'm afraid of heights. He's dangling from a ladder at WrestleMania. What was it, 17 in the double ladder match they had? He's like, I'm dangling from a ladder. I'm just like, dude, why are you up there? If you're afraid of heights, why are you up there? I am a little bit, but I'm starting to like overcome my fear of like heights a little bit because I had like an incident when I was younger where I was like looking down and it was like just like an empty mountain. I was like, oh, I should probably step back from that. Like I don't like I'll be honest with you, like like someone tells me, oh hey, yeah, we want to have your promotion across the country. Guess what? I'm driving. I ain't flying. I do not fly. I will never get in a plane ever in my entire life. I like being on the ground. I will not fly ever.
Well, Craig, like I said, I know one thing with UWE, not only do they have great in-ring action, but at these next tapings, we'll start to have the best backstage duo that I think any company can ever have.
Look at that. Look at that. She plugged herself. Look at that. My man. Awesome.
What can I say? I'm in a good mood today.
And if we're doing plugs before I go, since I have to get to work, yet again, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Brutal Bob Emmons seminar, $50. You don't want to miss this. This man is a legend in this business, has done over 300 seminars. His credentials speak for himself. He's been in Ring of Honor. He's wrestled, I don't know how many matches, probably thousands of matches. A great person to learn from. Like Ronnie said, there's a reason why you call him Uncle Bob. He's kind of like an uncle to everybody. But I've obviously Ronnie's met him a handful of times. I've had great conversations with him on Messenger. The way it is, I think this is huge. Even like everybody said, like, oh my God, like people have messaged me like, oh dude, this is huge. Like you're bringing in Bob Evans. I'm like, yes, it took a lot. I didn't really take much to get him in because it's something me and Ronnie had discussed for a while. Like, oh, maybe we should bring him in. Maybe we should bring him in. And then like we discussed it, and then sure enough, a couple of weeks ago, Uncle Bob messaged me, hey, do you want to do this or whatever? And like, this is something that you want to do. And I thought about it. I'm like, it was easily a no-brainer. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So not only will he be doing a seminar, he will also be wrestling too. And he did a spoiler here too. He'll also be at our August tapings as well. Not doing the seminar, will be at the August tapings as well.
Nice, absolutely. And we got one more comment coming here, Craig, before you run.
Hey. Showcase Pro Wrestling, yes.
Had fun at the last taping, fun roster. Yeah.
See?
Guys, the one thing I will say, and I'm not just putting Craig on.
No. I was gonna say, let me just cut you out right there for a second. That comment right there is why I do what I do. Like that was his first time ever coming here. Had probably no clue what to expect. Because obviously you go to indie shows, you get all different stuff or whatever. I literally shook that man's hand for the very first time, even though we met back in 2021 when I went to Showcase Pro Wrestling with Ronnie 3 years ago. But obviously no one remembers me because I was there one time and that was it. Yeah. But that is exactly the reason why I do what I would do. Because when I've been ever since, including yourself, ever since doing these tapings, I've had nothing but everybody's like, oh, I had so much fun. It's positive vibe. It's a great experience. That's why I do what I do.
And I'm going to say
that's why it's cool because these kids come here and they train. Oh, I have fun here when I train. Is training easy? Hell no, it's not. But they have a fun experience doing it.
Oh no, I absolutely, I can definitely see where you're coming from, and I've said this before, and I'm gonna say this again, not just because you're on with me, but the fact that you guys have welcomed myself and this podcast to be a part of the UWE foundation, so to speak.
Absolutely, yes.
I am incredible. I mean, I'm even appreciative to the fact that the logo, I just happened to come across this a couple of days ago, that the logo, which actually, by the way, I had to get you a new version of the logo, because not saying the version you have is bad, but we've kind of updated.
Actually, like modified or whatever or something?
Yeah, it's actually right up. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually right above your head.
No, actually, I don't see. I just see your all-in poster. That's all I see.
Oh no. Okay, so when you watch back this, you'll see it. But I mean, I saw it a couple of days ago, and I was very appreciative of that.
Okay, is that the white picture you have behind your head? On me, it's behind. There it is. Oh yeah, yep.
The original.
Okay, that's the original.
I'll send you the new version of it, but I'm very appreciative of it.
Oh, me as well. I'm very appreciative that the talent that's come up here since January and everybody I get to work with, like yourself, like branching out with AIWF Network as well. They came out to me because a lot of those guys know Bob Evans and stuff like that. I've had other people reach out to me about, Bob and stuff like that. So I think this next set of tapings is definitely going to be can't miss. My only regret is since I'm still working on it, there's not going to be any fans here. Hopefully August or October, we're hoping, because then I'm not going to spoil anything, but then we're going to have the big, you already know this, then we're going to have the big tournament.
And actually, I have an idea to bring up to you before we get to that tournament, which I'll talk to you about that later on. But Craig, I appreciate it big time. Guys, if you haven't done so already, what's taking you so long? Go subscribe to UWE on YouTube. You'll see great content. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the episode where I did the backstage interview with Dante is one of the episodes that is up already.
Oh, yeah, we only have 3 episodes up. And I just want to say for you viewers that are watching on YouTube, I want to thank you very much. Our very first episode is over 500 views.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive. I myself, I always think small, not think big. Honestly, in the 3+ years I've been doing this, I didn't think we were getting to where we got today. So anybody that's been involved with this company, past and present, thank you for helping me make it what it is today. All the trainers that have come by, all the talent that's come up here for the tapings, all my students, past and present, current. It's literally been a whirlwind, and thankfully, big things are coming. So ECW's on a roll. Watch out. We're coming.
Like I said,
no, we have a lot of interesting things planned in the next few months. Hopefully it takes off big, and we're hoping, bigger picture. We're hoping to have, a thing going here where everybody can come here and have fun and be like, oh, this is something big. And for those of you that are around this area, we're not hard to find. We're in a night in New York. We're 20 minutes from Rome. We're about 25-ish, 30-ish minutes from Utica. It's a short drive. Hell, if even one of my students is even from Syracuse, you want to come from Syracuse to make the drive. We had one student that came from Albany, made the drive or whatever. Like, it's, if people are coming that far, what does that say about this brand and this school?
They're also 6 hours away from Long Island, just in case you wanted to know. Yeah,
6 hours away from Long Island if you're that further downstate.
If you're that nutty to make the 6-hour trip, oh wait, that would be me.
Hey, it's one thing I learned in this business: the money and the miles. I've had, like you heard Ronnie travel from Maine all the way to Georgia, and let me tell you, from being around Ronnie as long as I have, that wasn't flying, dude. That was driving, Maine to Georgia.
Oh, I feel like I've done that now when I'm doing the trips up for, the Dynasty or Immortal, even for you guys.
Oh yeah, because you got the long drive to go up to. Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
I mean, I literally figured it out when I know it's a UWE weekend. I know for a fact I'm leaving my house probably 8 a.m. or latest 9 a.m.
Get you up here by the time call time comes around at 2 o'clock. So get
you. Or if it ends up being a few minutes late, I just send you a message. Craig, I'm gonna be a few minutes late.
Yeah, which is no big deal. People, we have everybody come up here at 2. Some people come in maybe 2:33-ish or whatever. But no, usually people are coming in on time. We get everything set up. We have our meeting or whatever, or what's going on, and then we get going. Like I said, this past set of tapings was probably the smoothest we've ever ran, and it only took 4 hours to film 2 episodes.
Exactly. But Craig, I know you got to run. Definitely want to have you on again. in the
Anytime.
future. I want to have you on more often than once every 6 months.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
But,
yeah. As
Greg,
a matter of fact, you should probably have me on the week of the next set of tapings so I can talk more about it and
that's my
plug,
plan.
plug Uncle Bob
Like I
and all that stuff, all that fun stuff. So yeah,
Like I said, I got Craig. I may have a big head, but I have ideas.
there you go. That's all. It's all it's about. Ideas. Got to have ideas. Keeps it
But
going.
guys, like I said, I want to thank Craig. I want to thank you for joining us, guys. Around the Ropes is one of the sponsors for UWE.
Absolutely.
And honestly, it's one of the best things I ever did was making the jump there. But Craig, I'll let you run. I got to finish up the show here. And again, guys, go check out UWE on YouTube. If you're in the Oneida area, definitely go by the school. I think you guys do training when Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, but I think in another couple of weeks due to Ronnie's schedule with what else he does, it might be changing to like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that. It'll all be on our Facebook page. Right now, it's still Tuesday, Thursday. When it changes, it'll be up on the main Facebook page as our schedule changes, and it's only for I think for like about 6 weeks. It's going to change, and it'll go back to normal after that.
Absolutely. But Craig, I appreciate you hopping on a lot. We'll definitely have you on again before those next tapings. But guys, that was Craig Palmer, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this. You're watching the Around the Ropes podcast right here on the Around the Ropes YouTube channel. We'll be right back right after this. And we are back right here on the Round the Ropes podcast, guys. I know I had some other stuff I wanted to get to. We'll hold that off till next week because I'm exhausted right now. But guys, stay tuned because we do have a Around the Ropes exclusive upcoming this Wednesday night with Bull Dread making his return ahead of his big match happening this coming weekend. You're not going to want to miss that interview. And we have so much more coming up for you guys. Again, guys, hit the subscribe on our YouTube page. It costs you nothing. Follow us on Facebook. Get us to. My goal is this for the people who are watching. My goal is to get us to 30 subscribers by Memorial Day. And as of now, I'll tell you in a second. We are now up to. We are up to 26 subscribers still. So, guys, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It does wonders for us. But I appreciate all the support. It means a lot. I'm not here without you guys. Again, guys, I want to thank Craig. I want to thank Ronnie. I definitely want to thank Alfonz Stevens for all joining the show tonight. I want to thank the fans as well. I want to thank Bill. I want to thank, Anthony, all you guys for chiming in the comment section. It meant a lot. I'm not here without you guys. Again, guys, tune in for the Bull Dread Around the Ropes exclusive dropping Thursday. You guys will see me again this coming Friday live from Enfield, Connecticut. Bill, if you're watching, I actually said the name correct. Enfield, Connecticut, as Blitzkrieg Wrestling presents home. Saturday, we got Creative Pro, and then we are back here. Final words are to every mother who is watching us. I just want to make sure I want to make sure it's this weekend and not next weekend. I don't want to be jumping ahead here. No, it is next weekend. I want to just send a shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy early Mother's Day from the Around the Ropes podcast. You guys are the unsung heroes, I feel. But guys, again, for all the mothers out there, I want to send a happy Mother's Day to all of you. Thank you for what you guys do. And like I said, I'm not here without you guys. But guys, This has been another episode of the Around the Ropes podcast. You've been watching the Around the Ropes podcast right here on YouTube. You can catch the replay of us on Spotify as well, usually within a day or so. But guys, again, I appreciate all the support. It means a lot. And I'll catch you guys next time right here on the Around the Ropes podcast.